How's it going, folks? So today I'm going to be giving you my thoughts on the debut album from Battle Symphony, and the name of this album is War on Earth. I mean, doesn't that already just get you excited? The name of the band is Battle Symphony, and the name of the album is War on Earth. But anywho, before we get into the nitty gritty, I love to check out the cover. So boom, there it is. Take a look at that beauty. What a glorious, glorious cover. You're already drawn in because the band name, which is a quite the bold name for a band. You kind of you really get your hopes up. So you really hope they deliver. But anyway, before we get into that, just look at that cover. You see these creatures, almost like these aliens fighting and battling, and they're in some kind of weird, almost looks like some kind of alien spaceship, or maybe just on a planet, and there's some kind of buildings or something like that. You're not quite sure. It looks like there's pods over on the one side. I don't know if they're breeding more aliens or creatures, or what's going on with that, but it just looks so cool. The name of the band is Battle Symphony. I don't know how many times I need to say that, and the album's called War on Earth, and you see this cover and it's like, oh boy, that gets you stoked. So aesthetically, glorious cover right there. It's got sci-fi, it's got fighting, battling, fantasy elements, and what more do you want in the genre that we cover here on this channel, like a power metal, symphonic metal, so A plus on that. And as far as if you're in the record shop, you pick this bad boy up, you take a look at it, you never heard of it before, and you see that, good luck not buying that on the spot. I ain't kidding. Battle Symphony, War on Earth, and it looks like that. Genius marketing here with this band, with the name, the album name, the cover. It's an instant purchase, as far as I'm concerned. I think it conveys pretty well what you're going to get. Some, you expect some bombastic, grand, battle symphony, music, just, and that's what you get. That's what you get, folks. So it gets A plus on both fronts, aesthetically and conveying what you're going to get on the album. Now, I don't usually like to do this. First of all, this bad boy's got 12 tracks on there. Comes in at about 1 hour and 9 minutes. It's a hefty boy. But before I really talk about it, I just got to say one thing. And like I said, I normally don't like to do this, but right off the bat, folks, I got to tell you, this is easily one of the best and most epic albums I've heard this year. It's just nuts, this album. I was just absolutely blown away. I heard the one single, Soul Survivors, featuring Roberto Taranti, and I was stoked. I said, this song is great. I want to check out the whole album. And boy, was I in for a treat. Anyone who liked that song, it's a great song, Soul Survivors, a great song. But I would honestly consider that song to be, if we're talking levels of up here is like the greatest song on the album. Down here is like granted granted this is solid. There's no bad song on the album. It's all solid or above. Soul Survivors is probably around here. Right in the 35% area. And that song is amazing. That tells you just how awesome and sick this album is. But anywho, what you're getting here is epic power symphonic metal. And it's just nuts. Right from the rip. Track 1, Fire on Earth. It just lets you know what you're in for. And I was just just stunned with what I was hearing. It's so epic. The guitar work on this album is incredible. With the riffs and the melodies and the solos, exquisite guitar work. I mean, the musicianship all around is just nuts. There's moments where every instrument gets to shine, but the symphonic elements are incredible, and they use the like string instruments liberally, like violin and stuff like that. And I'm a big sucker for that, and it just sounds incredible, incredible. I'm just still blown away by the production value on this album and the mixing and whatnot. This is a debut album, debut. I really don't know how they pulled it off. It's truly just stunning. The just big old vast explosive sounds of symphonies and orchestrations. All the while a guitar is heavy riffing through the track. You got melodic vocals, astonishing vocals. There's several vocalists. It's one of those like concept albums. It tells a story, and there are different vocalists for different characters, so to speak. All fantastic. The main dude, nuts, nuts. His versatility and his range, and he has almost a very theatrical. I wouldn't be surprised if he's got like a theatrical kind of background, because his delivery a lot of times has a air of like theatrics, or just a theatrical way of singing at times, and it just really embodies like these characters, and it just really great. This guy is just awesome. But like I said, all of the vocals are great. You get some female vocals in there at spots that really adds a nice touch. And that's what this album is. Like I said, it's just so grand, so bombastic, so epic, amazing symphonic or orchestrations and sounds, incredible guitar work and solos, and it's just nuts. Fire on Earth, and then track two, Hail Mankind, Hail. It's like every song on this album just kept making me be like, how, how is this staying like so consistently incredible? It's wild. Then you get track three, Soul Survivors, which is a single, great song. It's more of a on the mellow side. It starts out real grand and bombastic, the first two tracks, and then Soul Survivors is more of like a melodic metal. I would almost say melodic power metal. I guess you could say. Really great song though. And then you get Genocide. This is another thing that really took me by surprise. Once track four hits, Genocide, you really start getting some electronic elements coming in, and some electronic beats and stuff like that mixed in with the rest, and I was like, this is wild, and it sounds so sick. Power and Glory is absolutely epic. Um, the Final Chance is I love this song. The Final Chance is just it's not a ballad, but it's a very emotionally heartfelt, kind of very melodic and catchy song that it is just kind of sweeping and soaring. This whole album, it really feels like a cinematic adventure. I'm just sitting there and you can really visualize what's going on, and it's just, it truly is something. I even having a hard time describing it all, and really trying to convey to you folks what this album really is all about, because there's so much packed in here. You get, like I said, the orchestral stuff. You get, again, fantastic guitar work, fantastic, bass and drums, and vocals astonishing. But then you get some electronic elements that come into certain songs. It's almost like this album works in phases to a degree. Um, uh, and yeah, the final chance is just an incredible, incredible song, soaring, emotionally charged kind of song there. And then track seven, One Eyed Jack, gets all kind of acoustic. And this is when some real piano work really starts coming in as well. This song almost has a like a Mediterranean almost kind of a sound with the piano, I would say, and you get this acoustic guitar. It almost in spots, especially when the guitar is more prevalent, the acoustic guitar, it almost sounds like kind of like a Western kind of like Western movie kind of vibe and sound to it. With this character, from what I could gather, I have not sat down and read the lyrics while I listened, but I don't always do that, to be honest with you. I just try to catch it as much as I can via ear and go from there because I listen to so much stuff and even though I listen to these albums multiple times, because I want to give you as best an idea. You don't always get the best thoughts, off the first listen. So whenever I do these album reviews or album thoughts, I like to call them because saying I'm a reviewer, I feel like I'm not quite qualified for that. So this is really my thoughts, but I listen to these albums multiple times, and a lot of times it's while I'm doing my full time job. I have a home office, but anywho, I can sit there and work, and I listen to the music, and so I try to catch as much as I can. But this is an album that I really, really want to sit down, get the lyrics, and read them as the songs play because I really feel like that would just even enhance the experience even more. I feel like this deserves it because this One-Eyed Jack seems like this character again is like another voice coming in. He seems almost like a rebel kind of guy, but it's hard to say. But it really, really cool song. Like I said, Western movie kind of feel to it, and the whole rest of it just really is amazing. The track 11, the Battle Symphony, which is kind of the last song. Track 12 is a bonus track. It's really great though, honestly. But the Battle Symphony clocks in at 12 minutes and 54 seconds. And it is what you'd expect. It's got its bombast and stuff like that. But one thing that really surprised me, but I appreciated it because you get so much explosiveness and bombast and grandness and epic, sweeping soaring sounds and all of this stuff, this dynamic album, with all this stuff going on. The Battle Symphony, I thought it was just really gonna just pound you even harder with all that, but it really doesn't. It's stretched out for a reason. With the 12 minutes and 54 seconds, it somewhat takes its time, and there's long stretches of just kind of guitar work and guitar melodies and instrumental stuff without too much stuff flying at you. So it's really, really cool way to kind of end the album or end this saga that is being told across the album. Because it makes you feel like certain spots there's these big battles happening. When all the orchestral stuff is going, and then other times you feel more like things are more emotional, or certain characters are uh, uh, feeling certain emotions, and it's not quite like things are just going berserk. So it's really cool how it does that. Again, it just adds to the diversity of the record here, and the way Battle Symphony goes, it really just kind of has that extra feel too. That's not necessarily like it's this big final grand battle, but almost as if the battle is kind of raging on, and it's kind of stretched out, and the characters are kind of working with what's going on, and it's just really cool. It's almost kind of like a thought-provoking thing there at the end too, just with the way it goes. Again, heavy guitar work going on, very melodic song. So really, really neat. This album is just a class act. Speaking of like class, you get a lot of like classical type of vibes. Like I said, there's some really phenomenal piano work going here. Uh, like I said, what type of element that of music for like an epic symphonic power metal album did I not mention? I mean, you even have like electronic elements in here at spots. Truly a work of art. You know, I honestly would go as far to say that this album is a masterpiece. There's not a dull moment. There is not a single bad song. It really is just, again, just a masterpiece. You know, and the best way I can describe it is just an epic symphonic power metal album here that tells a grand story in a very grand way and is very impressive. So do not miss this one, folks. You know how I like to tell y'all, check out one song. You know, if you're just going to give an album one chance and you want me to tell you one song that's maybe best to listen to get an idea of what the album has to offer, to decide if you want to listen to the whole thing or not, I would honestly just say start with track one, Fire on Earth, and then just keep going from there. So, I mean, I don't see how you would listen to the opening track, Fire on Earth, and not just want to keep going. I really don't. So, yeah, start on track one and have fun because you're in for an adventure. You're in for an incredible, incredible experience. This was a joy. I really can't say enough good things about it. Really, really blew me away. I was not expecting this. And debut album, folks. So, yeah, let me know in the comments down below if you've listened to this bad boy already and what you think. Or let me know if I've intrigued you and you want to check it out now, which I highly recommend it. If you're here on my channel, the Power Metal Ranger channel, and you've been following me because you like the music that I cover and whatnot, don't miss this. Don't let this one pass you by, folks. I'm telling you. But anywho, that's Battle Symphony with War on Earth. What an incredible, incredible piece of music. Just nuts. Nuts. Anywho, like I said, as it kept going, I just constantly would just be like, I'd be putting my hands up in the air like, how much more epic can this get? How can this keep staying so epic? You know, I'm used to albums, like you get a couple epic songs and then it kind of just dwindles a little. But every song here, I'm just sitting, I'm like, this is so good. Anywho, I'll stop rambling about how amazing this album is so that y'all can just go listen to it for yourselves. Yeah, so that's what I got for you folks, and I'll catch you all next time. Ranger, out.